and welcome to SoCal Surf with Dan Nappy. Today we are at the Huntington Beach Pier on the north side. Yesterday we were on the south side, so we're doing a 2-day here. Looks like we're starting to get some surf again, and of course now there's another storm offshore. The problem with that is, we need the storms to make the waves, but when they're right on top of you, it's a stormy condition, what I call wave after wave, different directions, a lot of wind, and just not a very good surf day. But when they're further out at sea and it takes time to mellow out, by the time they get to the shore, the waves form better and they're not quite so scrambled up. But the last couple of days have been a little bit stormy, but there has been surf, which has been a big improvement over the last few, almost months now that we've had sporadic surf here and there and not very consistent. So right now we've got some waves coming in, and we've had some not perfect tides, but the tides have been a little bit better. So we've had something to do. Now yesterday wasn't bad. It wasn't excellent, but there were waves. They were hard to catch. They weren't breaking outside. They were breaking closer to shore, and then they'd quickly reform into the shore break, which is right on top of the sand. So you're taking a big chance if you ride it all the way into the sand, because it was big enough that it could hurt you if you didn't land right coming off that last bit of wave. But I was pulling out before I got to the shore break because I just didn't feel like dealing with that. So I went, got a good left. It's about waist high. It wasn't very big. There were some head highs, but they were very rare. So it would jack up pretty fast, so you had to stand up and turn real quick. And then you can ride it and then get a little bit of a reform. And as it started to go towards the shore, you wanted to get out of it. And that was yesterday. And it was great because the sun was out and it wasn't very windy, a little bit of a breeze, but not bad. And then today, of course, we thought it was going to be the same or better. Instead, it was worse. It was windy and choppy, and the waves were really scrambled. They were coming in one after the other, and it was not breaking all the way outside again. So we went to the north side, and we just went in, and we tried a couple, and they were pretty scary because you could get hammered pretty bad, which I did. The first wave I caught went really well. It had a nice little left, and I made my turns, and everything was great, and I pulled out in time to miss the shore break. And then as I turned around to paddle back out, another set was coming. I couldn't stay there on the shore break because that would have been even worse, so I paddled out as quick as I could. Tried the duck dive under the bigger set, and they really weren't all that big, but they were right on the sand, so it made a very big, powerful splash. So I went under, and the wave just picked me back up and sucked me over the falls. So I, hung onto my board. I came back up, and I could feel the bottom. So I saw the next wave coming, so I duck dive even deeper, as deep as I could, and it still pulled me over, and I got slammed onto the sand, and I'm still hanging on the board upside down with my butt on the sand and the board above me, and that dragged me into the shore closer. And so I was getting thrown around a lot, and so I got out of that one, took a big breath, and there was a wave behind it, but that one was smaller, and I was able to get through it. And then I was able to paddle like crazy and avoid the next two as I just kind of peeked over the top and then just kept paddling out. But they weren't, it was more than 50 yards from shore. In Huntington, it could be anywhere from 50 to 100 yards from shore. But today they were mostly pretty close. So you had to be really quick when you got up because the wave would just hit that reef there like a sandbar, whatever you want to call it, and then it would just jack up. So if you weren't ready to accept that quick drop, then you ate it. And on the third or fourth wave I caught, I stood up in plenty of time, but as I started to turn, it just was too late. And I tried to stomp on the rear of the board to keep the nose up, but it wouldn't stay up, and I just made a free fall drop to the bottom. And the nose went in first, which left me no option but to just kind of dive off to the left. I don't really mean dive like you dive into a pool, but more of a belly flop type throw to the left because I didn't want to hit the sand because it was very shallow. And so I kind of dropped and the nose went under and I just launched myself to the side. And I hit the belly flop on the wave just as the wave came behind me and tumbled me over. So I got thrown on the sand again and drug underneath the wave for a while. So it was really tricky today. It's really hard to get in the right spot and get the right wave, because even when a wave came to you, if you didn't get on the shoulder, then you were just stuck going straight and then having to take a beating on the shore break. So it was pretty tricky. And the wind came up, and so it was real choppy, and a lot of waves. I mean, one after the other, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you were inside, you got hammered. But if you were lucky to get out quick enough, you didn't have to take a beating like that. So pretty interesting day. Not our best surf day. Water was cold in the 50s still. The sun tried to come out. It kind of peeked behind a cloud every now and then, but mostly it was overcast and cold. So very cold and poor conditions, but surfable. And that was it. So hoping for tomorrow to be better, and then Thursday, and then on Friday, I believe it's going to be that storm that's way offshore. It's huge, and it's supposed to go north. We're supposed to get some of it, but it just depends on how it tricks. If it goes further north, we'll be in good shape. If it slides a little bit towards the south, then we're going to get hammered with really a lot of rain again, and we've already got too much rain now. A lot of the dams and reservoirs and hillsides are suffering, but luckily this week we got a lot of sun, and so in the afternoon we should be able to dry out a little bit and hopefully make some room for that new storm to come in. So that is it for today. We're gonna see what tomorrow brings on an eventful, scary day like today. Hopefully it'll be a little bit mellower, get some nice rides. Until then, thanks for listening, and check out our sponsors, naplyclothing.com, Merch Hero, Task Bullet, and Swing Easy Hammocks. Thanks so much for listening. See ya. Bye.